Hello and welcome to Insight PRM Presents Don't Overcomplicate It. Powerful ways to grow your business with the latest trends at your fingertips. I'm Frank Craig and I appreciate everyone taking time out of their busy schedule this morning, this afternoon. This is a no sales zone. We're only here to provide powerful tips to help you grow your business. So let's get started. We have a lot to cover today, so be sure to take notes. We're going to cover things such as analytics, SEO, customer reward programs, and more. If you have any questions, please use the question tab on your computer. I'll try to get to them. If for some reason I don't get to it, I will send an email out to everyone with your question and answer. So as I mentioned, it's a jammed-packed agenda for today. We're going to cover prospecting software, campaigns, tracking, follow-ups, reporting, email marketing, what that looks like for success, what steps are needed, website design and functionality, what's needed for an effective website, voicemail. A lot has changed with the voicemail, latest trends of voicemail to text, email. Is your email getting opened? One of the biggest questions we're going to cover today too is, what do we do with all the data? Whether it's in the software, whether it's from email marketing, from our website, customer reward programs, what are we doing with it? What are the patterns? What success are we generating from that? Because at the end of the day, all of these tools, it comes down to execution and who is handling all of the data. Who's our most important client? We're going to cover as well. So the first question I'm going to have right off the bat is, who is the most important client? Is it someone that's purchased, 5 years straight, took 2 months off of maybe it's the gym membership, maybe it's a phone system, maybe it's print services? Who's our best client? Or is it somebody that we just got? And if we use analytics, we want to focus on when was the last time they bought. Then we can dive in deeper and say what's their total relationship. But we have to understand the data, right? We have to understand what made that person stop buying from us if they've bought from us for several years. And we're going to get into all of that. So first, prospect software. Don't overcomplicate it. We need it to be very simple. So there's a marketing term called KISS. Keep it stupid simple. That's what we need. When we're prospecting, we need to be able to have campaigns for new clients. We need to have them for prospects and for what special offerings we're having, whether that's our customer rewards program or it's a new client campaign, a loan campaign, a free consultation. Whatever that campaign is, we need to be able to track it. We need to know the reporting. And why is this important? Because we need to know what our follow-up strategy is. How many emails are we looking to get opened? Why are the emails opened? How many calls are we going to have a conversation with somebody? And how many conversations to close? We need to understand what the revenue and potential revenue is of every call that we're going to make. And when was the last time they made a purchase similar to what we're looking for? Is it a new client? Is it an existing that we're trying to upgrade? All of this ties in to the latest trends of analytics. It also for business decisions. We have to know all of these before we move forward. If we don't know what our follow-up strategy is, we don't know why somebody's opening an email or why they're not opening an email, we have to have all of this broken down. Then we need to outline that to our team that's going to be following up with all of the data. Does that make sense to everyone? So email marketing. There's Constant Contact. There's MailChimp. There's a wide range of products out there to help with email marketing. Why is it successful? It's not just a fad. It's something that you need to grow your business with. So we need to stop spending money on just fads. We need to spend money to make money. We need to put money into the team. We need to invest in simplicity. Again, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. So we need to have emails. Emails are going directly to people's cell phones. It's probably the number one way of touching a prospect. But it's also the simplest way that the prospect can just email you back and say not interested or not respond. So we have to have a strategy. We have to have a time frame. We have to have goals. We need to know our conversion ratios and what that subject matter is for each email that goes out. Why do we need a strategy and a time frame versus goals and conversion ratios? Because you can't just send one email. Constant Contact is the perfect example of this. Gail Goodman. As mentioned, there's other companies out there that does similar things to Constant Contact. She's so confident that she can sell at a higher margin than her competition. She outlined exactly what she did in a book. She wrote the book, and it's all about engagement marketing. It's all about having the right subject matter for those emails to get opened. So if your email is not getting opened, let's start with the subject matter. Is it direct? Is the only person that's going to open it someone that's interested in your service? Then what's the content that's in that email? Is it a 5-page novel? Or is it just a quick 2 paragraphs, maybe only a paragraph outlining why you want that person's attention, why you want to have a conversation with them? Is it tips to help them grow their business? Or is it tips to help them through their next strategy for their phone system or for their next upcoming move or for lending? We have to understand what our purpose is in emailing this prospect before we even send that email out to them. And that's all about the strategy and knowing the time frame, the goals and conversion ratios. So what is a good time frame? A good time frame is dependent on the prospect and dependent on your initiative and campaign. If this is a quarterly, great. We know it's 3 weeks. If it's for the year of we want to bring in X number of new clients, then we have a whole strategy based on follow-up. Is it 2 weeks? Is it monthly? Is it quarterly? Is it a little bit of both where we're touching them as often as possible? Are we using other data to help us with our strategy for emails, such as customer rewards, such as apps out there that can track when somebody made a purchase of similar fashion? Food industries do this all the time. Same with malls and clothing stores. There's apps out there that will analyze data of people's purchases. Someone just bought a pair of jeans and they walked by your department store. It's going to red flag it. Maybe you can send a notification to them via Facebook, via email. So understanding all of that data is going to be very helpful in your email strategy as well. So again, a good campaign strategy is to retain or bring in a new client. It's minimum 6 months. Think about how long it takes you to make a buying decision, especially if it's a costly decision, right? It's not taking you a day or 2 days. And I highly doubt that you're answering the phone on the very first call and saying, yes, sell me what you want to sell. No, it's a big purchasing decision that's going to take time. You're going to need the follow-ups. You have to set specific dates sometimes in the email. Give them 2 options. How's Tuesday at 10 o'clock or how's Thursday at 9 a.m.? Are we putting them on a monthly email reminder for your newsletter? Latest trends, helpful tips. Have you stopped by their office? What are goals? Are you goaling based on email rate? If so, you should be looking at an 8 to 10% using mail gen sites. If you're sending one email at a time through your prospect relationship management, you can get up to 15 to 20% open rate. We've tested it with Insight PRM, and we've gotten up to 20%, 25% open rates with key subject matter. So whichever site you're using, know that they're kind of the basics. You're looking at anywhere from 8% up to 25%. So what is a realistic conversion ratio based on those opens? What are you doing with those opens? And that's my first question. When you do an email campaign, what do you do with the opened emails? And also, what do you do with the emails that were sent that aren't opened? I'll give you a couple of seconds here to answer that question. Again, the question is, what are you doing with the data that comes to you from an email campaign? This is a very important question because it goes to what we talked about when we first started. What are we doing with the data? So I see some people say they just continue to send emails out to the opens until they get an appointment. I see another person say that they'll make a round of phone calls to the opens to highlight. I see that you opened it. I'm not going to read all 80, 100 here that are coming through, but know that wide range, the correct answer is we should have a campaign based on opened emails and based on the data. We should know our next steps. We should have a follow-up email that goes out. We should also have a follow-up call script that's going out. So content should provide information that makes the prospect want to respond. Think about it. When you write an email, ask yourself, would you open that email? Send it to yourself. See if you would open it based on the subject. If you did, then start reading each paragraph or each line, each word. Which words stick out to you? What words would get you to run away? If your emails aren't being opened, you have to look in the mirror and say, why isn't it being opened? What is the content that's in there that's making people not open my email or not respond to me? Do I even have my information in there for the person to get back to me? What's the purpose of the email? And it's very important to note that you need a joint campaign. You can't just send emails out. You can, you'll get somebody, but you're not fully executing on it. And that's the difference between growing your business and staying where you are. If you want to grow your business, you have to have that extra step. Success comes from hard work. And this might seem like hard work, but it's just an extra step that you have. And it will generate higher revenue, higher success, higher conversion ratio, a happier workforce if you have everything outlined to them that this is a joint campaign. For every email that's opened, you have 5 calls you need to make to that person, 7 calls, 10 calls, 100 calls, whatever it is. But they need to complement one another. Maybe your follow-up call to the open is sending them another email as well with helpful suggestions or following up in regards to my last email, wanting to see if you had any questions. What do some of the subjects look like? Is it an intro? Is it a call request? Are you providing that free information, an article, a checklist, latest trends? Is it something silly as, word of the month, word of the day, monthly newsletter, client testimonials on recent projects? They go a long way to building your brand, having those client testimonials on recent projects. Leverage everything that you can for these emails. Any questions on email strategy as we turn the page to the website? Websites are very big, especially with SEO and people wanting to drive traffic to the website, So when you're doing that and you're spending the money on pay-per-click or getting people to see your website, have you taken the time to rebrand your website to make sure that once they're there, that it's interesting for them to stay there and get the information they need? And is it easy to have them contact you? So here's just a couple things that you need for it. You can't overcomplicate it. Make it simple. Is it mobile compatible? So if somebody's looking at it on their smartphone or their tablet, is it able to convert? Is it very user-friendly? Is there a chat form? Is there a contact form? Is it easy to get to? Nothing's worse than having a question and you can't get the answer to it because there's no recently asked questions or frequently asked questions or a live rep on the website. Car dealers do this all the time. Same with other companies like your TV and internet provider. If you go on their website, there's a representative that pops right up and says, "How can I help you today?" Right? The more easy we make it for our prospects to get the answer they're looking for, the better, the higher likelihood of success we'll have in generating new clients. So make sure you have that contact form. Make sure you have what they're looking for. Again, just like the emails, put yourself in their position and say, would I stick around this website? Does it have everything that I need to know about the company? Is there an About Us tab? Does it paint the picture of where you're going and where you came from and how you've helped others? Is there engagement marketing tips? Highlighting some of the recent success stories that you've had in helping save customers money or avoiding frustrations goes a long way. Think about it. How many times have you read something and said, yes, I have that same frustration, or I was just thinking that. I'm so glad somebody else asked that question. It happens more often than we think. So we should certainly have that in our website. We don't need 100 pages on our website. We need to make it very user-friendly, right to the basics, simple, simple, simple. Especially if we're spending the money to drive people to our website, let's give them everything that they need and not overcomplicate it. Any questions on that? I see there's a lot of questions and I see that I'm not getting to them. I know it's either early in the day for some of you, later in the day, your day's done in other areas, and others it's lunchtime. So I'm going to try to quickly get through everything. I have a couple of questions to answer at the end. And again, I will send out the questions and answers to everyone as well. And if you don't want to ask a question now, feel free to email me as well. But I do see there are a lot of questions, and I will try to get to them as they come up. So how many of us have the capability right now when they get a voicemail for it to be speech enabled to go right to text message or right to email? Wow, it's a lot of you. And ask yourself this question. How many times do you not even open the email and you automatically delete the voicemail because it's taking the first couple of words and you're like, I'm not interested in this? So are we doing the same thing when we're sending out emails or whenever we're leaving voicemails? Are your voicemails being opened? Some of you might look at that and say, what are you talking about, a voicemail being opened? Well, with the latest trends today, your voicemail is being converted to an email. And it's only taking a couple of those first words. If it's not compelling, it's not getting opened. So we need to make sure that we have everything at our fingertips with that voicemail. So what does that look like? Is it providing information? Or are you saying, hi, this is Frank. How is your day today? I'm leaving you a voicemail. If so, it's not getting opened because they're the first couple of words that are coming out onto their screen. Each contact should have a purpose that is clear for the prospect. If it's not clear for the prospect, why are they going to get back in touch with you? So again, test it yourself too. Write it out, put the first couple of words in the subject matter, and see if you would open it or send it to one of your colleagues. If you hear laughter at the desk next to you, you know it's not getting opened. All right? Or if they come up to you and say, hey, that was a great subject. Okay, use them. So we know that voicemail to text is a big thing. We know that we can't overcomplicate things. We need to have prospect software that makes our clients, our prospects, up to date. We have to know all of that. We have to know the email marketing, the website, the voicemails. We have to know how to work the data. So that's what we're going to talk about right now, is how do we work the data? We have these tools, the voicemail to speech, the emails. We have all of that. What happens after we've done all the campaigns? Where does it go? It goes to people. And we have to make sure that they have all the tools necessary to do it. Because remember, who's the most important client? Is it the person that's bought for years and took two off? Or is it the person that just purchased? So we have to understand that. We also have to know that there's a huge number of sales opportunities in our database. Leads that have been disqualified, email opens that have been disqualified, customer reward programs that have failed miserably because they weren't executed properly. As Warren Buffett says, don't lose money, keep it simple. That's what we need to do. We need to keep it simple. We need to understand the patterns, what causes the data to do what it does. So without understanding what the data is and how it can be used, we can't have success. You might get a deal or two, you might get some revenue from it, but you're still missing out on most of those other opportunities. So think about that. Think about using your analytics. Think about using the SEO. Think about customer reward programs. How are we executing to the maximum to get the most out of our campaigns? We need to execute. Wharton teaches us that all this data is great. There's millions of data providers. There's millions of CRMs, PRMs, SEO companies, customer reward companies, numbers of things to track people's purchases. There's a wide range of those tools. But at the end of the day, to be successful, you need to execute on the data that's provided to you. You can create any line graph you want. You can create any chart that you want. You can do everything that you want, but at the end of the day, it comes down to people that are working the data. What are their goals? What is their function on taking that data and transferring it to success? They need to know all of these things that we talked about today, the voicemail to speech. We can't have them leaving voicemails that are long-winded. One, it's a waste of their time because it's not getting opened, it's getting deleted. Two, they need to know what those first 5 words need to be that's going to get people to open it. They need to know the subject matter for emails. They need to have powerful content. They need to know the follow-ups for those emails. They need to have the whole process down. We need to know, what does our website look like? Is it easy? Can we get in contact with people? If we can't get in contact with somebody when they're on your website, once they're a client, how are they going to feel? I wouldn't purchase from somebody if I'm trying to buy their business and they won't come to me. A great example of that is I called a company today to come do some yard work for spraying because it's the summer months and mosquitoes and other insects. So I called up 2 companies. I called them last week. I followed up with them today. They haven't called me. I followed up with them today and said, yes, I spoke to somebody last Friday in regards to coming out and spraying my yard. Here's my name, my phone number, my address. I wasn't in their system. Are you serious? I'm saying I would like you to come out within the next week. They didn't even have the time to put me in their system. So I mentioned to them, I said, this is what I was quoted. Oh, well, that's not the price that it would be. Okay, that's strike 2. Right? And I said, okay, so what would be the price? Can you email me all the information so I can review it? It's been a day and a half. I have not gotten their email. Do you think I'm really going to go with them? Not a chance. Called another company. Same thing. Called them last Friday. Called them back today. They have 1 strike. They never called me back. But I was in their system. They pulled it right up and said, yes, I see that you were looking for this package. And yes, we could have somebody come out. And I said, would you mind emailing that to me? By the time I was off the phone, the quote was already to me. Out of those 2 scenarios, who do you think I'm going to go with? I can go with the company that's responding to my needs immediately. That's why people are spending money on these latest trends of where is the person right now, right? Your phone, location on, that's a feature on your phone, location, right? They're tracking. If you're walking by a pizza shop and you had just Googled places to eat, that pizza shop might ping you on Facebook saying, hey, check out our new reviews. Or they might ping you through a different app, whatever app that you were using. Make sure your website's doing the same thing for you. Make sure it's tracking how long that person's been on your website, what pages they went to, what content they wanted. And then follow up with them with a phone call, with an email, with all of these trends. Keep it simple. You don't need a wide range of things to try to bring in new clients. Let's not reinvent the wheel. Let's look at the most successful companies and what they've done, what they spend their money on. They spend their money on simple things. Marketing, leads, client management, and prospect management, and their people. That's it. We don't need to reinvent the wheel, try to think of new things, because at the end of the day, it comes down to people. And if we have the right people working the data, you're going to be successful. So conclusion, I know we had this scheduled for a half hour, so conclusion, you need to have the following. 3 simple things, four simple things. Strategy, what are you looking to accomplish? How are you going to accomplish it? Is it through emails? Is it through call campaigns? What does your website look like? Is it easy? Is it mobile friendly? What's your prospect tool? Do you have an easy one or is it complicated? We pride ourselves on not complicating things. Let's make the most out of the tools that we have. Let's not make excuses on why something's not working. Let's figure out why it's not working and create a solution for it. And an excuse would be it's because of the marketing campaign, it's because of the data, it's because of XYZ. All these things that we're in control about. We are in control of fixing all of those reasons. And if we look at what we've done, that's how we can fix it. When I talked to this client, he hung up on me when I said this. He said he wasn't interested when I said this. Great. How can we reinvent that word or that sentence to flip it? Or when I said this, they were really engaged with me. I see that they're loving this page on my website. I see that no one's going to this page. What can we do to make that page more attractive? Simple little things of redefining. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We just need to focus on what we do well, highlight what we do well, and continue down that path. The things we're not doing well, they're fixable. We just need to make sure that we learn from those challenges, and we can overcome them. So while the latest trends have a significant impact on sales and marketing, it's important to figure out what the data represents. I've been saying that for the last half hour. We need to figure out what the data represents because at the end of the day, it goes back to a person that needs to execute on that data. And unfortunately, the most important way of figuring out the data and trends is still via the telephone or people to people. Because let's say we don't pick up the phone, we don't call them, but we still get the deal, right? When they come to our shop, when we install their phone system, when we move their office, if it's not a good experience, all the data in the world of opened emails, of calls out to them means nothing. It's all about executing. Executing from the lead, opened email, campaign, whatever it is, initial prospect to prospect stage to client retention. It's not complicated. We don't need to overcomplicate it. We need to have a follow-up plan. We need to have a strategy. We need to execute. That's what it comes down to. If anyone needs any help with creating a strategy, with creating goals, to seeing how you can simplify some of your trends that you have now, or how you can even go back to some of the trends that you did or campaigns that you've done in the past that didn't get the results you wanted, go back and analyze the data and say, hey, what did I do this time that worked great? And sometimes the number one frustration is you had a great rep that worked the data the one time or worked the campaign the one time. They've moved on. They've been promoted. They've gone to a different company. And you're going to try to do a campaign again. Did you go back and look at how that person had success? How many calls it took? How many emails? How many mailers? What that looked like? What that person's script was? Or did you say the market campaign was terrible? None of the information was good. 90% of you said the information's bad. The campaign was bad. Because 90% of leads, marketing, customer retention programs are dropped, mishandled, and fallen by the wayside. Let's flip that. Let's ask a question on why we're not getting the results that we want from a campaign. A lot of smart people took time and effort into creating that campaign. But sometimes it's the execution. Sometimes it's not the directions that those people that set that campaign give to the person working the data. Everyone has to be synced. We have to know the expectations. We have to know what that whole strategy is. And once that is, then that's when success comes. I'll just leave you with that. I appreciate everyone's time today. I know I didn't get your questions. I will certainly send you answers to them. I thank you all. I know I'm a little over our allotted time, but I do appreciate everyone taking time out of their busy morning, busy evening, lunch schedule. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate to contact Insight PRM. The phone number is there at 610-449-2056. Contact the Wendover Corporation or contact me directly. My extension is 7670. My main goal is to help you grow your business. So if at any time you have any questions, you're not getting results that you want through any campaign, you need to simplify your prospecting tools, please let us know. We're here to help. Thank you so much for your time today. And again, if you have any questions offline, don't hesitate to give me a call, send me an email, reach out to an Insight PRM representative or a Wendover representative. Thank you again so much. I hope that this was very useful and that you can take some of these tips that we talked about today and grow your business. Thank you.